Hello, students. So we will have our seminar this time in this way, like video recording. We will speak about dreams and personality. You are going to hear a lecture about dreams and personality, and please take a look at the slides. What will the lecturer talk about? Make a list of points. So here we have got 5 slides. At the first slide, you can see a sleeping person. Then there is a kind of an iceberg, yeah, to symbolize the personality structure. Then number 3, it's guess what? It's a mandala. So probably you know that Jung he used this notion, building up his theory. And the slide 4, there is a portrait of Sigmund Freud with a symbolic door into his mind. The door is open, the mind is explored via analysis or interpretation of dreams. And the last picture, well, I guess it deals with the images from the ancient myths. So we can see here a giant turtle, yeah, and maybe you have heard about such a legend that the world is it is carried by 3 elephants that stand on the back of a giant turtle. Like it reminded me that legend, and maybe you know something else. So um, make a list of points. What could be possible topics of discussion during the lecture? Like 5 slides and 5 points. Speaking about them, you may use the vocabulary from the table, like to start with. Secondly, to continue to develop your idea. Then, after, and when you would like to finish your description, you apparently you may use finally, yeah, and one of these verbs on your choice. Okay, moving to the next slide. Here we can see some topics numbered, like not numbered but listed. Freud's approach to dreams, Jung's theory of personality, role of Freudian and Jungian therapists, Freud's theory of personality, Jung's approach to dreams, dreams and personality. Yeah. So listen to the part 1 of the lecture, and before listening, they ask you how will the lecture be organized. In order to answer these questions, that would be good if you number these topics. So put a pause and number these topics in the correct order, how you feel it should be talked about this topic, how, like what should be spoken first for the first, then for the second, yeah, like that. So Take your time, and after, listen to the part one of the lecture. So let's listen and check. When you have finished numbering these topics, we will listen.
Unit 5, Lesson 5.2, Exercise B, Part 1.
Good afternoon. Today we're going to look at dreams, a topic we all know something about. In this lecture, I'm going to talk about the relationship between personality theories and dream analysis. Later on in your seminars, you'll be able to discuss this relationship in more detail. Okay, I'm going to discuss Freud and Jung and how their theories of personality or self influenced the way they interpreted dreams. Now, although they shared many views, they did differ on key issues. And that's the focus of my lecture. First of all, I'll describe Freud's theory of personality, including the ego, the id, and the superego. Then I'll outline Jung's theory, based on the concept of the collective unconscious. After that, I'll relate Freud's approach to dream analysis using free association and Jung's method of relating dreams to universal myths. Finally, I'll discuss the different roles of Freudian and Jungian therapists.
Unit.
Yeah, that's it. So, when we listen and check, the correct order of these suggested topics, that would look like dreams and personality to be the first topic to be mentioned, then Freud's theory of personality, then Jung's theory of personality. After that, she will speak about Freud's approach to dreams, Jung's approach to dreams, and that's it. Yeah. Some of these topics were not mentioned. Yeah. Maybe you noticed that. I hope so. Okay, moving to the next. Moving to the next slide of this presentation. Write a keyword for every topic and match with slides if possible. So, looking at these topics, probably you could suggest some of keywords to be associated with Freud's approach to dreams. Like, I believe that would be like free association method. Yes, like the way he tried to interpret the dreams. Speaking about Jung's theory of personality, it would be good to mention like collective unconscious, again, mandala. Then, speaking about the role of Freudian and Jungian therapists, like what did they do? They try to connect with the ancient wisdom. Yes, they try to use this method of reassociations. What about the next topic? Freud's theory of personality. I believe you know this structure. It consists of ego, id, and superego. Speaking about Jung's approach to dreams, we will think, we will mention such terms like mythos. Even it's better to say universal mythos. Yes, mythos that are common to all the peoples. And lastly, the final topic, dreams and personality. So, speaking about it, you will definitely think about personality theory, dream analysis, yeah? So that would be like possible answer. But again, you may use your own keywords. This was just a pure example. Here we have came to the second part of the lecture, and your task will be to tick the topics that were discussed. So listen attentively and choose the topics that were discussed in this part. Besides, as you can see, there would be one more additional topic to be mentioned by the lecturer. Be attentive.
5. Lesson 5.2, Exercise D, Part 2.
Okay, first of all, let's look at Freud's psychodynamic theory of personality. Freud believed that the personality is comprised of three components: the id, the ego, and the superego, and that the unconscious plays a major role in directing our daily behavior. So, according to Freud, the id is a part of our psyche that represents our unconscious wishes. Basically, the id drives our aggression and our sexual desires. In contrast to the id, the ego, which is the conscious aspect of the personality, controls our primitive urges and allows us to live harmoniously in a community. To put it another way, the ego mediates between the id and our need to live in a society. Now, I'm going to move on to talk about Jung's theory of personality. Actually, Jung agreed with Freud that the unconscious drives our behavior. But Jung believed that the individual self is a part of the collective unconscious. Sorry, speaking of Freud, I forgot to mention the third element of his personality theory, the superego. This is the part of the psyche that controls our moral decisions, and the mechanism for coordinating these three aspects is known as a compromise. Where was I? Right, to get back to Jung. Essentially, Jung believed in the existence of a collective unconscious. By that he meant the unconscious accumulation of human experience throughout the evolution of the species. I think his theory of the collective unconscious is really very interesting, particularly as it can branch out into myth and even mysticism.
Unit 5, Lesson 5.2.
Well, okay. The last slide for today's lesson presents your work, your task to the last third part of the lecture. So again, you need to tell what topics were discussed after listening, which topics were discussed in this part, which topic was not mentioned at all. Try to catch the definition of free association term. What is a mandala? And the last task, match the synonyms to the lecture of words. Like for example, she says discuss. Yeah. So what does it mean discuss? It's to talk about. So 1G. Yeah. Do this similar work with the rest of the words. So let's listen. And again, you think about the topics that were discussed and one topic that wasn't mentioned. Try to catch the definition of free association and mandala.
Exercise E, Part 3.
Anyway, now moving on to approaches to dream analysis. Basically, as I mentioned before, Freud and Jung agreed that the unconscious is the driving force behind our behavior. And, in fact, they also agreed that dreams were the gateway to the unconscious, or as Freud put it, the royal road to the unconscious. However, because their views of the internal workings of the psyche were so different, they approached the interpretation of dreams from different angles too. First, let's look at Freud. According to Freud, the underlying energy guiding our behavior is both unconscious and motivated by unfulfilled sexual urges. Freud maintained that by recalling and analyzing dreams, his patients could become aware of their unconscious instincts, controlled by the id, and make them conscious, bringing them under the control of the ego. Obviously, this isn't automatic. He believed that the psychotherapist has an important role to play by encouraging the patient to relate the images in their dreams with the first word that comes to mind in a process called free association. Right, now I'd like to turn to Jung's approach to dream analysis. Jung, as I mentioned before, believed that our individual unconscious was part of a collective unconscious. In his book Freud and the Post-Freudians, Brown claimed that we can see evidence of this in the universal nature of myths and images of completeness, such as the circle. For example, if you look at slide 3, you can see a mandala, an ancient symbol of wholeness. So actually, Jung didn't agree with Freud that dreams were just disguised enactments of repressed desires. Jung believed that dreams link us with the accumulated knowledge of our ancestors. So, for a Jungian, dream analysis is much more to do with connecting with this ancient wisdom.
Unit 5, Lesson 5.
Well, okay, so that's it. If you have any questions according to this lecture, according to this lesson, you may write them. I will ask them. I will answer them, and that would be great if you send me the answers and write your name, surname, lesson 12 by the end of the week. Okay, thank you for your attention. Have a nice day.